We are counting down to the end of the year.
Yes.
And what we like to do at this time of year is reflect on the year that was. And for you, this is the year that was when it comes to cinema.
Indeed.
So today, we are going to look at Thor's top 10 picks of the year. Now, and at 8:20 this morning, okay?
Okay, without further ado, we will give you 10 to 6 right now.
Let's do it.
And then the top 5 a little bit later. Starting with the Coen brothers' Hollywood satire, Hail Caesar. And this was about a Hollywood fixer in the 1950s, played by Josh Brolin, who's kind of working to keep the studio's stars in line. Also had George Clooney, Scarlett Johansson, Tilda Swinton, Ray Fiennes, and a scene-stealing Alden Ehrenreich, who's going to be playing the young Han Solo in the upcoming Star Wars spin-off movie. Now, this had impeccable production design, the costumes, the period detail was all there, and it had that great dose of, sort of acerbic wit that we get from the Coen brothers, courtesy of a great cast. They're just dynamite together. And with the material that they have to work with in terms of the script, I loved it. There were some very iconic scenes in this one, a lot of nods to classic Hollywood cinema. And if you want to know more about who's going to be playing Han Solo, you got to see Alden Ehrenreich in this movie. He is a scene stealer. So I thought it had a lot of magical moments. It didn't quite sort of come together like a lot of the classic Coen brothers films, but it was definitely one of the strongest films, there's Alden, of 2016.
All right. Number 9 on your list is actually based on a true story.
Yes, biographical drama Sully. This is directed by Clint Eastwood, and we all remember the tale. January 15th, 2009, Captain Sullenberger landed the plane successfully on the Hudson River, saving all 155 people aboard. The main thing about this movie, it is a lean 96 minutes, so the shortest Clint Eastwood movie, so it's very taut, and it's thrilling because with the chronology of the events that happened, they didn't just sort of leave it to the climax to show you what actually happened. They showed the landing from different perspectives throughout the film, so you're not like waiting around to the end of the movie to see what happened, and it was a very clever way to frame a film, I thought. Hanks, definitely worthy of an Oscar nomination here. It was tense, and this is a movie that was shot almost entirely on IMAX cameras, so it was great on the big screen, and you get that full wide perspective. But I thought Hanks, along with Aaron Eckhart, who plays his co-pilot, were thrilling, and some of the scenes of the plane going down were just harrowing.
Quite the story. Okay, number 8 for the kids.
Yes, now this was Disney's best film of the year, Zootopia, and it imagines a city of anthropomorphic animals, and it centers around a story with a rookie bunny cop voiced by Jennifer Goodwin and a cynical con artist fox. Jason Bateman provided the vocals there. They had to kind of work together to uncover a conspiracy. Now, obviously, on the surface, this is a kids' movie full of vibrant worlds and environments and a lot of great laughs. But under the surface, Kyle, this was a brilliant sort of film noir mystery that was also a nod to bygone Hollywood classics like Chinatown. But it was also a story about gender equality and racial discrimination. So a lot of politics going on here underneath, a seemingly innocent kids' movie.
Something the adults could also enjoy, which is why I like these kids' movies.
There was a lot of depth and a lot of great themes to this movie, and it was also great for the kids. I mean, a couple of scary moments maybe for the younger ones, but it was such a strong film, thematically and visually, one of the best of the year for sure.
Okay, number 7.
All right, Marvel had a huge year, but I think their finest film yet and their best of the year, Captain America: Civil War. I mean, this was basically like Avengers 2.5, but what they did was juggled so many elements. They had the infighting of the Avengers, they had Ant-Man, they introduced a new Spider-Man. It was funny, it was dramatic, it was thrilling, all the action was there. The story I thought was excellent. They gave you some closure in terms of the Winter Soldier with what happened in the second Captain America movie. And the villain in the film, I don't want to give away too much about it in case you haven't seen it, but he wasn't this sort of guy that was generic and bent on destruction like a lot of these comic book villains. He had a very personal story. It was sort of more family-oriented, and I thought that was very refreshing for a comic book film. Again, this was a thrill ride from start to finish.
And like you said, the best one so far.
I think so, yeah. It's arguable, obviously, because a lot of fans feel differently about these Marvel movies, but I thought this was the strongest.
Okay, and number 6.
All right, you may not have heard of this one, but it comes to us from New Zealand. Hunt for the Wilder People, one of the most refreshing original stories of the year. It focuses on a foster child who's kind of in and out of homes. He's a bit troubled. He goes to live with a foster uncle and his wife, and the man there is played by Sam Neill. Now, tragedy strikes, and the two of them basically are on the run after a nationwide manhunt ensues. So they're escaping the authorities. But it's a touching tribute to boyhood and adolescence, and the two of them together, Sam Neill and Julian Dennison there, the young boy, are just comic dynamite. But it was beautiful because it's so rare these days to get such a refreshing original story, and this had that in spades. It was equal parts funny, hilarious, and also poignant and very touching, so I thought it was great for the families, and excellent performance here from Neill and Dennison.
What was that?
Was that somebody's phone?
That wasn't my phone.
That was weird. Well, there you go. 10 to 6.
I'm scared
A
that you know what out of me.
Silver cameo there.
Okay, well, we are back counting down Thor's top 10 movies of 2016. We gave you the first 5 last hour. If you'd like to watch it, you can go to our website.
Nice one.
But in the meantime, let's count down the top 5.
All right, here we go. We saved the best for last. And number 5, Arrival. I'm a big science fiction fan, and this is one of the strongest we've had in this genre in years. From French-Canadian director Denis Villeneuve, stars Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. Aliens land on Earth. Nobody knows what their intentions are, so they hire a linguistics professor, played by Adams, and a physicist, played by Renner, to try to establish communication. So it's a fascinating concept. If aliens landed, how would we communicate with extraterrestrial beings? It was also a story about human grief. So the way that it sort of combined those two sentiments with an alien film without any violence on screen, mind you, was amazing. So this was a slow burn with a lot of strong themes and gorgeous visuals as well. So such a strong aesthetic, and Denis Villeneuve is doing the Blade Runner sequel, so tons of buzz around this guy, and a proud Canadian as well. Loved this movie.
Okay, number 4.
All right, we talked about Zootopia. That cracked the list, but my favorite animated film of the year, Kubo and the Two Strings. This is from the studio Laika, who gave us greats like Coraline, Paranorman, The Box Trolls. It's an ancient Japanese folktale that is a epic adventure about a young boy who has to join forces with a wise monkey voiced by Charlize Theron and a beetle warrior played by Matthew McConaughey. They have to battle this Moon King and a pair of evil twins known as the Sisters. Now, this was utterly exquisite. I mean, the visuals were dazzling. It also had some great action. The vocal talents were incredible, and it wasn't afraid to tackle tough topics like mortality and death in the family and things like that. So it didn't pander to younger viewers. There were images in the movie that stayed with me they still are with me, I mean, for months, and it just kind of cast this lingering spell on me. So I thought it was definitely one of the strongest animated films of the year, and an achievement in the technical realm, because this was done with stop motion animation mixed with computer generated animation. So that alone was just amazing to watch, and so much painstaking effort went into this movie.
Looks beautiful.
Oh, it is.
Okay,
yeah.
number 3.
Okay, we're getting down to it right now. Moonlight. You gotta see this one. The life of an American gay black man chronicled in 3 distinct stages of his tumultuous life. Incredible coming of age tale. So what they did was they had 3 different actors playing this man, and it really eschewed the typical formulaic approach to storytelling in a really beautifully understated way. It has a very abrupt ending, kind of muted. So many people may be wondering, like, where does the story go from here? But I thought it was so fitting to the characters and the story. And the movie had a lot of moments of silence where the music would be playing or there was no dialogue. So I thought it was just a great way to sort of slow things down. It explored some very complex themes. I mean, we don't often see the life of a gay man explored like this from an African-American culture. So I thought it was such a rare gem. The acting was brilliant. It was so well cast, and just a bold aesthetic made for such a breathtaking tapestry. Oh, what a gorgeous movie this was.
Looks very powerful. Yeah. Okay, silver medal, number 2.
Oh yeah, Manchester by the Sea. Writer-director Kenneth Lonergan's stunning masterpiece examines guilt and forgiveness. Easily the year's best drama. Following the death of his older brother, Casey Affleck, who gives the performance of his career here, he's called to his former seaside home to act as guardian to his sort of impertinent teen nephew, played by Lucas Hedges, who is equally sensational in this movie. But what ensues is a heartbreaking and sometimes even hilarious look at the complicated dynamics of a family dealing with the past and wrestling with how to move forward, essentially. The performances are just so achingly real, and the script was so razor sharp. It gave the film such an indelible quality of reality, and sort of a quiet masterpiece. But there were things in the beginning of the film where he's a custodian or a janitor, and he's just sort of fixing people's houses and as a handyman. But even though the scenes seemed very mundane, I was absolutely enthralled by them. It was so gripping. So do not miss this one. Probably the best family drama of the year, and my number 2 pick of the year.
which means
Yes.
the best picture of 2016, in your humble opinion, is...
If you haven't seen it yet, what are you waiting for? The most magical, transcendent movie-going experience of the year, La La Land. And this is from director Damien Chazelle, who gave me my favorite film of 2014, Whiplash. Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone. He's a struggling jazz musician. She's an aspiring actress. They strike up a romance, and it's all about them navigating the tricky waters of a relationship and finding success and fame in Los Angeles. It's a modern love story with a musical. So they basically were able to, make various numerous nods to the bygone golden age of cinema with a contemporary feel. So it's got that old and new mixture. The chemistry is palpable here with the two of them. It's their third time on screen, and it washed over me. In 2016, it was a rough year, Kyle, but you can just forget your troubles when you watch this movie. It was magical, and I don't want to sort of use that as a cliche, but it truly was. This showed the power of film and how they can still be a wonderful experience.
And really quickly, when you reflect on the year that was when it comes to movies and compare it, say, to other years that you've been doing this, how did 2016 rank?
I saw a lot of strong family dramas, a lot of great character study, some particularly strong animated films, and a lot of emphasis on smart science fiction as well. So lots to choose from this year. It was a great year in film, and it was one of my favorites, actually, I have to say, in the last 5 years.
Smart science fiction. That means that you are a happy camper.
That's right.
All right. Nice job, Thor.
Thank you.